We arrived in China, and obviously coming from South Africa, it's a little bit of a small city. Our airport's quite small. So arriving, the first thing I noticed actually the people, the amount of people that were in the airport was intense. So it was a bit overwhelming getting off the plane, all the people everywhere, and the airport's really large, but it's still exciting. So we made our way through, and the first people to greet us was obviously our company, and they took us through. We waited for some more people to arrive. We got a coffee. It was very relaxed, kind of taking it all in while you're waiting for everyone to arrive. Then we get in a van, which was lovely, waiting for us, and we get taken to our apartments. And when we get to our apartments, they take us upstairs, and we get to see where we're going to live for the next year, basically. And it's very exciting. They show us what's in our apartment, what we get. We get a lovely welcome package with some food, some bedding, and kitchen utensils, because obviously arriving, you have no idea where to go and get those things, and there they are waiting for you, which is a really good perk. And after that, basically, you just start living in China, and they make it quite simple for us, which is really great. The day after that, we go and get our SIM cards, our debit cards, and everything is pretty much done for us, which is really great. And you just get to just be in the bus and look around and see where you are and take it all in while you go and get things so that you can actually live in a foreign country, which is great. So when I graduated from university, I thought to myself, I've never left my home country. I really want to travel. I see everyone else doing it, but I also don't want to have a gap year or not work. So I went online and did some research about working abroad in different countries, and the one thing that kept coming up was China. And it seemed that English in China was kind of blowing up at the time that I was looking to do the whole moving abroad thing. So I researched China a bit, and the more I researched it, the more I realized how different of a culture it is here, and that there could be so much to learn, including another language, as well as just the people, traditions, food, everything kind of just in one place. So I decided to maybe put some feelers out and put my CV out into moving to China. Had no idea what China really was. I mean, obviously I know just what it is, Chinese food, and all the normal stuff that everyone else knows, watching TV and everything like that, but I had never actually researched living there or moving there or traveling there, so it was quite interesting doing all that research and realizing how incredible China actually really is and everything it has to offer. It's a really great place to come and work, as well as travel and learn Chinese, get to know how to do Chinese cooking. Everything kind of just really works out for someone that's trying to do the whole work as well as travel thing. So China was just perfect. So that's the reason why I chose China. So when I got my agency, they obviously put a few companies in front of me, and I had a look at them. And the reason Iowa came up quite strong is because they had so many perks that came with the job. So we get foreign affairs officers that help us throughout our entire year, not just when we arrive, with whatever we need. Like, we go to them, obviously we don't know the language or maybe how things work, procedures, protocols. So we just message them or ask them for help, and they'll help us immediately, which is probably the biggest concern that was to do with moving to China. So that was number one on my list when I saw that. We get an apartment with the company, so when we move here, they just give us an apartment. They've got it all set up for us. We get a roommate that's working in the same company, so you're not alone. And that also really stood out, because obviously when you move to a new country, you're a bit worried about being lonely and not making friends too easily. And what's great is that they put you with a roommate that's going through exactly the same thing you are when you move here. So that was wonderful. Iowa's got a really great way of teaching, so a lot of the lessons include games that help kids pick up the vocabulary and the grammar, which is quite different to maybe what a normal teacher would do in a classroom. And that was really intriguing to me. I wanted to see what kind of technique or whatever they use here, how it would work. So that was also quite interesting to me, why Iowa was a good pick, because it's different, which is nice. It's nice to have a bit of a different way of doing things. And Iowa just help you with everything when it comes to moving here, as well as teaching. You get a really good 2 weeks of training, and it's very intense, and they tell you everything. They don't leave anything out, and that's obviously very important. So you don't feel as overwhelmed. You just feel a little more comfortable about going in and teaching in a different country and different kids with a language barrier and a different culture, and they make it quite comfortable for you. So it was, all the boxes were checked in my opinion, so that's why I chose Iowa. So the apartments were such a surprise, actually. Moving here, you don't obviously know what to expect. So when you arrive in your van and everyone's getting their rooms, and I remember walking into my apartment and I actually couldn't believe it. It was so big, and you each have your own room, and the bathroom is quite westernized. The lounge is huge. You get a TV, there's a microwave, there's everything that you need just waiting for you, and it's so easy. You just walk in and it's yours, and all you really need to do is unpack, and you're good to go. And there's just it's so homey, and what's great about where the apartments are, other than just kind of scattered around, you're all in the same area, which is really great. So you're very close to everyone that's working within Iowa as well, which is always great, because as a company we do like to go to each other's places, work, entertain and all that. So that was really great. But everything is really run quite well. The utilities are so easy to manage, topping up your water and your electricity. And again, even if maybe you don't find it easy, we have foreign affairs officers waiting to help you with whatever you need. They're all air conditioned, which is great because summers are boiling, and in winter there's automatic heating that turns on, so you don't even need to worry about getting cold or anything. So the apartments are actually well beyond anything that I could have hoped for, so it was fantastic. I wouldn't say that the language barrier was troublesome. Obviously, arriving here, it's a concern. But what's great about the way I was set up is that you get a CT, so a Chinese teacher. So you're never actually alone in the class. So it's just you as an English speaker and them as Chinese speakers trying to learn English. There's a Chinese teacher in the classroom with you, trying to help you and help them. So slowly but surely you get into a groove of learning how to deal with that language barrier using your Chinese teacher. And slowly it actually gets better and better, that you can kind of adapt to that language barrier. Other than the kids just learning your rules, it's not as difficult as you would think. So I'd say after maybe the first few weeks of teaching, they've got your rules down, they know what certain commands mean, your Chinese teacher knows when to help, and everything's pretty smooth after that. That's within the classroom. Outside the classroom, I would say the language barrier is actually quite entertaining or interesting. So it really helps you to learn Chinese quicker where we live, going to the shops and just dealing with people day to day. You learn certain phrases to get you through the day, in the shopping centres, asking questions, how much something is. You learn it really quickly, and it's a lot of fun, and it gets you really pumped up to learn the language, which is great because here at Iowa they supply Chinese lessons. So the quicker I realized that you really need Chinese and how fun it is to use it outside is that you can come and do Chinese classes at Iowa, which is a real help. So teaching Chinese children, I wouldn't say it's that different teaching any kind of children per se, but obviously the culture is very different here, and certain traditions, and the kids are brought up quite differently here. So it is very different, but quite similar in terms of maybe discipline within a classroom. But they really respond well to just, I think, someone that's really prepared and know what they want in a classroom, what goals they have, what rules they have. And if the kids know that, it's quite simple. But if you don't have a good layout of the classroom with rules and kind of regulations and a routine, then it can be a bit difficult because the kids are a little bit different. And also, again, with the language barrier, it can be tricky to manage. But I don't actually think it's as different teaching Chinese kids. It's just a matter of being organized as a teacher and knowing what you want from the kids in terms of discipline and behavior, and making sure that they know that really quickly. So I think that's quite similar with most other kids as well. So coming from South Africa, you know, you have a lot of concerns about safety, making sure that you can kind of do your day-to-day without anything really happening. So before I got here, I did my research on safety and everything, and it all just says that it's safe, and you know, obviously you don't really know until you get here if you're gonna believe that or not. So moving here, I had my my worries, and I learned really quickly that honestly it's so safe. It's a bit scary how safe it is actually. You can be at a restaurant and eating dinner, and you can just leave your phone and whatever on the table, go to the bathroom, come back, it'll still be there. I know that people have dropped wallets and things on the streets and someone has returned it to them, and all things like that. There's literally nothing to worry about. Obviously you're going to have your general way of keeping safe, being wary and all, but Beijing is honestly, it's overwhelmingly safe. I feel very comfortable wherever I go, on the public transport, the trains, the buses, taxis. Everyone's pretty decent. I've never had a problem, so that's a really nice thing about this city, is that I feel completely safe and comfortable to walk alone at night or be somewhere by myself, or anything that would maybe concern me a lot more in my home country. So it was wonderful. So the best part of living and working in Beijing, I think, would be the people. I really enjoyed getting to know the people and how they live and what they do their day to day. It's always interesting to see what this person is doing, maybe on the side of the road. They're playing these cool traditional games that you've never seen before, and they all live such a different life here. It's all very calm, and they've got a really good family like unit going here, where all the families are always together, playing outside, enjoying each other, laughing together, and doing things together. I feel like this is the most interesting thing that I've learned coming here, is that everything here is very happy and together, and it's interesting because it's not like that where I'm from. So going outside and seeing people doing different things, everyone's doing something different, that maybe makes them happy, or practicing some kind of sport, or just playing with their grandkids. So I really enjoyed the people, and of course I'd say the food is definitely one of the best parts as well about living and working in China. The food is incredible, and there's so many different areas in Beijing where someone does something different, and it's an amazing dish in these different parts of Beijing that you go and travel around. And it's always interesting to go and taste all the different flavors that they have to offer. And then I'd say working here is just everything. It's everything I'd ever want, really, and working abroad. It's just everything is in one place in terms of culture, tradition, maybe different teaching styles and techniques, and getting to know different people, not only just Chinese people, but in the company there's different people from all around the world, and learning about their cultures and how they see Beijing, and doing all the different things, karaoke in the streets, and all these really different things that you've never seen before, and it's all just in front of you every single day, so it's great.